You know, I was just going to go ahead and dye this and then come back and say, oh, look, I've dyed it. But what the heck? I'm going to go ahead and run the camera and put some dye on this thing. First of all, my little jar is getting kind of low. And I buy dye by the quart. At least the dyes that I use a lot, like black. And I transfer it over to the smaller jar because I think it's easier to use out of a small jar, especially when it's got a little small cap like that. I don't know if it's necessary, but yeah. I know dye has pigments and solvents, so I like to make sure that they are well mixed together before I use it. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Move my light over so I can see better. Now, when I dye leather, ooh, that's good. Before I dye it, I generally clean it with alcohol, especially if I'm doing it in a like a brown or a saddle tan or another kind of color like that. That way, the oils from my fingers don't produce splotches. It cleans all those oils off. It does dry the leather a little bit, but after it's done being formed and after it's completely finished, and you wet form the leather, which I will be wet forming this, it dries it out anyway, and I come back and use some pure neatsfoot oil on it to put the moisture back. But right now we're not doing that. Right now we're going to put some dye on it. Got me a big fluffy dauber. I got my dye ready. It's all mixed up. And I'll just start putting it on. Now I like to use lots of dye, especially for black. Because when the leather soaks in the dye, it can leave like brown splotches on top. And I like to make sure that the leather is completely saturated with the dye. Now when dyeing something black, there's no real mystery to it. You just use lots of dye. And I am going to do both sides. Now the back side is really absorbent. But that's okay. I'll just use more dye. Now, as you can tell, this isn't exactly precision work, so having a gimpy hand is no impairment when I'm doing something like this. Lots of dye. Now, my dauber is thoroughly saturated, and I know this. And I want it like that. Okay, it looks like it can absorb some more dye. Here we go. That ought to do it on the inside. See, the outside is looking kind of splotchy, so I'm going to put more dye on the outside too. In fact, you can see in some spots where the brown's coming through. And if you're dyeing something black, you don't want to look brown. But you know, sometimes it looks kind of cool. I had a holster come out like that. I was going to redo it, but it looked cool, so I left it. I'm going to make sure I get all these edges. And as usual, I wear the glove on one hand because that's the hand I'm going to manipulate the leather with. All right, that should do it. Now I'm going to let this dry for a couple of days. I want it good and dry. And the next step is going to be to go ahead and burnish these edges, and we'll put a finish on the inside. I do it that way because once it's glued together, it's very difficult to get any kind of finish coat on the inside of a holster. And even if you can, you're not assured that you can do it with any, I can't think of the word. Well, you can't be assured that it's going to be an even coat. All right. And we'll see you all next time. Yeah, like usual. I'll just keep picking at it. Yeah, I know it's not a scab, so I don't have to stop picking at it. Well, like I said, see y'all next time. Stay tuned.